George Orwell was born in June 25, 1903, to a middle-class family living in Great Britain. He grew up with his father working as a Burma police officer, which will come up later. Growing up, he was very academically gifted, even going so far as to earning scholarships to two of England's top schools. One of his teachers happened to be Aldous Huxley, who of course wrote many famous books, including A Brave New World. He chose to become a part of the same police force as his father due to him not having enough money to continue his studies. In his late 20s, he quit his job as a police officer in order to spread news across to other people and become a successful journalist. He also wanted to become closer with the people he was protecting, and this was also the low point of his life as he lived in the ghettos of England. Later choosing to write novels, he started with Burmese Days in 1934 and continued to write up until his death caused by tuberculosis in January 21st of 1950 at the age of 46. Orwell joining the police force was a big part of his life, as that was what introduced him to the true struggles of the poor side of England and gave him his socialist views, which became very prominent in his book Why I Write, page 394, where he states, "And the only regime which, in the long run, will dare to permit freedom of speech is a socialist regime." The Spanish Civil War also influenced him, not only causing him to join the Spanish militia, but also giving him what he felt he desired most, a socialist society, which he mentions in Homage to Catalonia, chapter 8, in which he says, "Most prominently shown in Animal Farm is an allegory on a failed revolution that could not keep up with their promises. The story consists of a group of animals who overtake a farm and start to govern themselves. Everything starts off fine, with everyone doing their part, but as soon as both of the horses leave or die, things take a turn for the south. This connects in line with his idea that a perfect society is a socialist one in which everyone is equal and there are no social classes. This idea of socialism is further pushed as he writes, all animals are equal, but some animals are more equal than others. Clearly the socialist idea is there, but is taken to an extreme, as in the novel, the animals are not even close to equal, with pigs being the top of the food chain, bossing everyone else around. Orwell was inspired by World War II to write about socialism because although he was declined for military service due to health issues, he still fully supported Britain going to war. Orwell believed that Britain joining the war would cause more people to turn to socialism. He took this belief and ran with it, as he proceeded to write about the ideologies of socialism. He also wrote about the negatives of other ideologies, like communism, which he despised. Using the same quote as before, all animals are equal, but some animals are more equal than others. This references how communism was not truly fair, as they still had social classes, which all ties back to World War II and Britain wanting to stop the spread of communism. Another example of George Orwell's hatred towards other ideologies is in 1984, in which he writes about a world where Soviet Union was successful in the Cold War and placed its subjects under a totalitarian rule. Throughout the novel, the subjects are always under the government's eye, with the popular reference being Big Brother is watching you. This is also an example of how the Cold War affected his writing. George Orwell died on January 21st, 1950 due to tuberculosis and had a very mild funeral with a simple tombstone in All Saints Church, United Kingdom.